My beloved child, stop scrolling for a moment. Do not move past this message as if it arrived by accident, because there are some things the soul recognizes before the mind understands them, and something inside you already knows these words were meant to find you tonight. You have been feeling it, haven't you? That strange pull in your chest. That unexplainable heaviness mixed with hope. That feeling that someone, somewhere, is thinking about you at the exact moment you are thinking about them, even if you have never truly met. You tried to ignore it. You called it imagination, loneliness, wishful thinking. But the reason this message reached your eyes now, at this exact second, is because heaven has been watching the silent conversation happening between two hearts separated by time, distance, fear, and unfinished healing. And your heart is one of them. There is someone whose spirit keeps reaching toward yours in the quiet hours of the night. Someone who carries your energy without even realizing how deeply you already live inside them. Someone who smiles suddenly for no reason and does not understand that your soul brushed against theirs from afar. Listen carefully to what I am about to reveal, because this is not the kind of connection that disappears. This is not infatuation, not coincidence, not another temporary lesson disguised as love. No. This bond was written long before either of you understood what loneliness truly felt like. And lately, the signs have become impossible to ignore. The dreams, the repeated numbers, the sudden memories of a face you cannot fully place, the songs that feel written about your future before it even arrives, the ache, the waiting, the strange certainty that someone is out there carrying the missing piece of your spirit. You thought you were imagining them, but they have been imagining you too. And that is why your soul has been restless. Because somewhere tonight, someone secretly wants to meet you more than they have ever wanted anything before. Yet there is something even more shocking you must understand. Their heart already belongs to you. Completely. Even before your hands fully touch. Even before your story truly begins. Even before the world sees what heaven already knows. And the reason this connection feels so intense is because your souls have crossed paths before in ways your human memory cannot yet fully access. There are moments your spirit remembers, even when your mind cannot. That is why certain eyes feel familiar. That is why certain voices shake something ancient inside you. That is why you have felt emotionally connected to someone you cannot logically explain. Because the soul does not move according to logic. It moves according to recognition. And your soulmate recognized you long ago. But child, there is something happening right now that you do not yet see. Your soulmate has been fighting their feelings. Not because they do not love you. Not because they doubt the connection. But because the intensity of what they feel terrifies them. You must understand. Not everyone is prepared for a love that reaches directly into the deepest wounds of the heart. Not everyone knows what to do when they encounter the person their soul has secretly searched for all along. Especially after disappointment. Especially after betrayal. Especially after teaching themselves to survive without believing real love still exists. Your soulmate has cried over you without fully understanding why. They have felt your absence before your presence ever officially entered their life. They have stared into crowds searching for someone they could never describe. And lately, your energy has become impossible for them to escape. Even now, while you hear these words, their heart has been restless. They have tried distracting themselves, keeping busy, pretending they do not feel the magnetic pull growing stronger every day. But late at night, when silence removes all distractions, their spirit always drifts back to you, back to the feeling, back to the pull, back to the person they have not fully met, yet somehow already miss. And you know what is extraordinary? You have been doing the same thing. That emptiness you sometimes feel has never truly been emptiness. It has been anticipation. your soul sensing someone approaching before your physical life catches up. There were nights you wondered why your heart suddenly hurt without reason. Why tears almost surfaced even when nothing terrible happened. Why certain moments felt incomplete no matter how successful or strong you appeared. Now you understand. Part of you has been sensing their longing from afar. Because real soul connections echo across distance. And lately, the echo has been getting louder. But there is another reason heaven brought you here tonight. You are closer to this meeting than you realize. Far closer. The spiritual walls between your paths have already begun collapsing. That delay you once hated? That waiting season you begged to escape? It was never punishment. It was preparation. Because if this connection had arrived earlier, both of you would have destroyed it out of fear. Your soulmate once carried wounds so deep they stopped believing they deserved gentle love. And you carried scars nobody fully saw. You learned how to smile while emotionally exhausted. You learned how to comfort others while secretly feeling unseen yourself. You became strong because life forced strength upon you. But strength can become lonely when nobody truly understands your heart. That is why heaven delayed this union. Not to deny you love, but to protect it. There were versions of both of you that still needed to break apart before your souls could safely come together. And child, your soulmate has changed recently. Something awakened inside them. Something they cannot explain. It started subtly. A feeling that someone important was drawing near. A sudden desire to heal old pain. A strange emotional urgency they had never felt before. Then came the dreams. Dreams that left them waking with tears in their eyes and your energy wrapped around their spirit like warmth after a long winter. They do not fully understand who you are yet. But their heart already does. And every day, that recognition grows stronger. They have begun noticing signs connected to you everywhere. Songs, names, places, unexpected emotions, moments where time almost feels paused. And the more they try to ignore it, the more impossible it becomes. Because destiny becomes louder right before arrival. Listen closely now. Because what I am about to reveal may shake something deep inside you. Your soulmate has already imagined your future together. Not casually, not briefly, deeply. They have imagined conversations with you before hearing your voice. Imagined protecting your heart before touching your hand. Imagined building a peaceful life beside someone they cannot stop feeling spiritually connected to. And what frightens them most is how real it feels. They keep asking themselves how someone they barely know could already feel like home. But the soul recognizes home instantly. That is why this connection feels ancient instead of new. That is why neither of you can fully walk away from the feeling. You may distract yourselves, delay things, doubt yourselves, but your souls continue moving toward one another underneath all the confusion. And recently, your soulmate has been experiencing moments that almost feel supernatural. Moments where your presence feels physically near. Moments where they suddenly stop what they are doing because they can feel someone thinking about them intensely. Moments where their heart races for no visible reason. Child, that is not random. Your energies have already begun touching before your lives completely merge. And that is why your emotions have become stronger lately too. You have been changing, becoming more sensitive, more intuitive, more emotionally aware. Old relationships stopped satisfying your spirit because your soul knows something greater is approaching. You have outgrown connections that only touched the surface of your heart. Because your soulmate was never meant to love you halfway. No. This love was designed to reach places inside you nobody else could reach. The hidden fears, the guarded parts, the exhaustion, the silent ache you rarely speak about. They are going to see all of it. And instead of leaving, they will move closer. That is what makes this connection different from everything before it. But there is still one final wall standing between you. Fear. Not hatred. Not rejection. Fear. Your soulmate is terrified that loving you this deeply could destroy them if they lose you. You must understand how rare this feeling is for them. They have met people before. They have experienced attraction before. But never this. Never the overwhelming certainty that someone could alter the course of their entire life simply by existing. You have become that person to them. And because the feeling is so powerful, they keep hesitating, watching from a distance, waiting for signs, trying to understand why their spirit reacts to you so intensely. Sometimes they almost reach out. Sometimes they stare at your name longer than they should. Sometimes they replay moments involving you over and over in their mind until sleep becomes impossible. And then fear pulls them back again. Not because they do not care, because they care too much. Meanwhile, you have been asking heaven for clarity, for confirmation, for understanding. You kept sensing someone emotionally close, yet physically absent. And the uncertainty exhausted you. There were moments you almost gave up on love entirely. Moments you convinced yourself your person did not exist. Moments where loneliness felt safer than hope. But child, hope kept returning, didn't it? Even after disappointment, even after heartbreak, even after tears nobody knew about, something inside you refused to fully close. That was not weakness. That was your soul recognizing that your story was not over. And tonight, your soulmate is feeling your energy more strongly than ever before. Something shifted. Something opened. They may not understand why emotions are surfacing suddenly, why memories are flooding them, why your presence keeps appearing in their thoughts unexpectedly. But heaven understands. The distance between your souls is collapsing. And soon, something unexpected will happen that changes the rhythm of both your lives forever. A meeting, a message, a moment that appears ordinary on the surface, but carries destiny underneath it. You will almost miss how important it is at first. That is how these moments arrive. Quietly, softly, like fate entering through a door left slightly open. But before that moment comes, there is something your soulmate has not told anyone. Not their friends, not their family, not even themselves completely. They are already emotionally loyal to you, even without fully understanding why. Other people no longer excite them the same way. Conversations feel empty. Connections feel temporary. Because somewhere deep inside, their heart has already chosen you. And this realization has been terrifying them. Because how do you explain missing someone who feels both familiar and unreachable? How do you explain feeling emotionally committed to a person destiny has not fully delivered yet? How do you explain sensing someone's pain from miles away? They cannot explain it, but they feel it, every day, more intensely than before. And child, there is another truth you need to hear. Your soulmate has been changing their life because of you without even realizing it. They have started healing old behaviors, questioning old patterns, letting go of certain people, preparing emotionally for a love they can feel approaching. You inspired transformation before arrival. That is how powerful your connection already is. Meanwhile, your own spirit has been undergoing preparation too. Have you noticed how differently you see yourself lately? How certain things no longer satisfy you? How your tolerance for fake affection has disappeared? You are no longer willing to accept half-hearted love, because your soul remembers what full love feels like, even before it physically arrives. And there is something else. Something your soulmate carries that nobody fully sees. A deep loneliness. Not the kind caused by being alone. The kind caused by feeling emotionally misunderstood for years. They learned how to hide it well. They laugh. They function. They continue moving through life. But inside, there has always been a quiet ache. A feeling that nobody truly sees the deepest version of them. Until your energy entered their life. Now suddenly they feel exposed, seen, understood. And it scares them because they cannot hide from your soul the way they hide from everyone else. You see them differently, even from afar. That is why this connection feels overwhelming. Because true soul recognition strips away illusions. And lately, your soulmate has started wondering if you feel this too. If you sense them. If you dream about them. If your heart reacts at strange moments the same way theirs does. They wonder if destiny is preparing both of you simultaneously. And the answer is yes. But there is a reason this revelation had to reach you tonight specifically. Because the next phase of this story is approaching faster than either of you expects. The emotional tension between your souls is reaching its breaking point. The silence cannot continue forever. The distance cannot survive forever. The universe itself is beginning to rearrange circumstances around both of you. Paths are shifting. Timing is aligning. Unexpected opportunities are forming behind the scenes. Even delays that frustrated you are secretly pushing you toward the exact moment you were always meant to arrive at. And child, there is one detail you still do not know. One detail your soulmate has hidden even from themselves. The moment they finally see you clearly, truly clearly, everything inside them is going to change at once. Not slowly, not carefully, instantly. Because some loves do not grow from nothing. Some loves awaken from recognition. And theirs is about to awaken completely. But before that happens, a truth must surface. A truth connected to why this connection has taken so long. Why your paths almost crossed before. Why certain moments felt strangely close, then disappeared again. There were forces pulling both of you toward healing before union could happen. Your soulmate had to survive a heartbreak that nearly closed their heart forever. And you had to learn the difference between attention and genuine love. That lesson hurt more than anyone realized. There were nights you felt emotionally abandoned even while surrounded by people. Nights you questioned your worth. Nights you begged silently for someone to love the parts of you you struggled to love yourself. And your soulmate experienced similar pain. Different story, same wound. Two hearts learning separately what they would eventually heal together. That is why your connection feels sacred. Because it was born from survival. And now, something extraordinary is beginning. Your soulmate has started feeling urgency. A pressure in their spirit telling them not to wait too long. A fear that if they stay silent, destiny itself may slip through their fingers. They do not fully understand where this urgency comes from, but it grows stronger every day. Soon, they will no longer be able to ignore it. Soon, the emotions they buried will rise too powerfully to contain. Soon, something will force honesty into the open. And when that moment comes, everything changes. Not just emotionally. Spiritually, energetically, the life you currently recognize will begin shifting in ways you cannot yet imagine. But there is still one thing standing in the shadows. One final secret. One final fear your soulmate has not yet faced. Because hidden underneath all their longing, underneath all their dreams of you, underneath the love already blooming inside their heart, there is something they are terrified you might discover. Something connected to the past they rarely speak about. Something that could either bring your souls even closer together, or threaten to separate you before your story truly begins. And the moment you learn what it is, you will finally understand why heaven waited this long to bring you together. My beloved child, do not look away now. Because what is unfolding between you and your soulmate has already moved beyond coincidence, beyond timing, beyond the ordinary explanations people use when they are too afraid to admit that some connections are written by something greater than themselves. And tonight, their heart is louder than it has ever been before. You may not hear it with your ears, but your spirit feels it. That sudden ache inside your chest. That strange emotional wave that arrives without warning. That feeling that someone is reaching for you from a distance while pretending not to. It is real. Your soulmate has been trying to bury their feelings beneath logic, distractions, responsibilities, and fear, but love born from soul recognition does not disappear simply because someone avoids it. It waits. It deepens. It transforms silence into longing. And the truth is, they have reached the point where hiding from this connection hurts more than facing it. But before they can move toward you completely, there is something heaven must reveal first. Something your soulmate has carried alone for far too long. Something that shaped the way they love, the way they trust, the way they pull away whenever emotions become too real. Child. Your soulmate once gave their heart to someone who shattered it without mercy. Not a simple heartbreak. Not an ordinary ending. A betrayal so deep it changed the way they viewed love itself. There was a time when they believed devotion would protect them. A time when they trusted someone with the softest parts of their spirit. And instead of being cherished, they were abandoned in the exact moment they needed love the most. That pain did not just wound them emotionally, it altered them. After that, they became careful, guarded, suspicious of happiness. They learned how to smile while emotionally disconnected, how to keep conversations shallow so nobody could touch their vulnerable places again, how to act strong while secretly carrying the fear that real love always ends in loss. And that is why meeting your energy changed everything. Because you reached the parts of them they thought were permanently closed. Without trying, without forcing, without even fully realizing it. Your presence alone began softening wounds they had hidden for years. That terrified them. Not because they dislike you. Because you became emotionally dangerous to them the moment their soul recognized yours. Dangerous in the most beautiful way. The kind of dangerous that makes someone imagine forever after spending years convincing themselves forever does not exist. The kind of dangerous that makes walls collapse. The kind of dangerous that makes a guarded heart suddenly remember how deeply it wants to be loved. And lately, they have been losing the battle against their own feelings. They think about you constantly now, more than they admit, more than they understand. You appear in quiet moments, in crowded places, in songs, in dreams. Sometimes your soulmate catches themselves smiling because they imagined a future with you for a split second before fear interrupted the fantasy. And what shakes them most is how natural it feels. As if their spirit already expects you to be part of their life. As if their heart already made room for you long ago. But child, there is something even deeper happening underneath all of this. Your soulmate has begun comparing every person to you. And nobody matches what they feel when your energy enters the room. Nobody reaches them the same way. Nobody creates that impossible mixture of peace and intensity that only true soul recognition creates. They have tried denying it, tried distracting themselves with other connections, but every attempt leaves them emptier than before. Because once the soul recognizes its counterpart, temporary distractions lose their power. And now your soulmate is standing at the edge of emotional surrender. Yet one final fear continues haunting them. They are afraid you could hurt them without meaning to. Not because you are cruel. Not because you are careless. But because losing you now would feel like losing a part of themselves they only recently rediscovered. You must understand something important. Before you, they had almost accepted emotional numbness as their permanent reality. They told themselves love was unreliable, temporary, unsafe. Then your energy arrived like light breaking through locked windows. And suddenly they could feel again, hope again, dream again. That kind of awakening changes a person permanently. Which is why they are so terrified of the possibility that you may not feel this connection as deeply as they do. Sometimes they convince themselves they imagined everything. Then another sign appears, another dream, another emotional pull, another moment where your energy crashes into theirs unexpectedly, and all their denial collapses again. Meanwhile, your own heart has been changing too. You have noticed it, haven't you? How difficult it has become to pretend you do not sense someone approaching your life. How ordinary attraction no longer satisfies your spirit. How deeply you crave emotional truth now. That is because your soul is preparing for a connection that cannot survive masks. And your soulmate senses this too. That is why they are becoming more emotionally vulnerable without understanding why. More reflective, more honest with themselves. They have started questioning old patterns they once defended, started recognizing behaviors rooted in fear instead of love. You inspired this transformation simply by existing. But there is another layer to this story you still do not fully see. Your soulmate has already spoken about you to heaven. Not necessarily with words. Sometimes through tears. Sometimes through longing. Sometimes through quiet moments where they stared into the darkness wondering if someone like you could truly exist. And every time they felt that longing, your spirit felt it too. That unexplained sadness you experienced some nights. Part of it was the emotional echo of their loneliness reaching toward you across distance. Because souls connected this deeply begin communicating long before physical union arrives. That is why your emotions have felt unusually intense lately. You are not only processing your own transformation, you are feeling theirs too. And child, something happened recently that changed everything. Your soulmate saw a sign connected to you that shook them deeply. Something too specific to ignore, too personal to dismiss. It may have been your name appearing unexpectedly. A dream so vivid it lingered for days. A moment where they felt your energy so strongly they had to stop what they were doing. Whatever it was, it broke through their final layer of denial. Now they know this connection is real. And that realization has completely destabilized the emotional walls they spent years building. But what they do not yet realize is that you are also approaching a turning point. Very soon, you will experience something that confirms this bond in a way your logical mind cannot easily explain away. A moment so emotionally charged that your soul will instantly recognize it. And when that moment arrives, everything inside you will shift. Because deep down, you already know this love feels different from anything before. Previous connections taught you lessons. This one feels like destiny. Previous connections drained you. This one awakens you. Previous connections made you question your worth. This one quietly reminds you who you are. And your soulmate feels exactly the same. That is why they cannot escape you emotionally, even when they try. Especially when they try. But there is still one truth hidden in the shadows. One secret your soulmate fears could ruin everything before your story truly begins. And tonight, heaven is finally revealing it. Your soulmate believes they are damaged beyond repair. Yes. That is the secret beneath all the hesitation, beneath the distance, beneath the silence. They do not fear loving you nearly as much as they fear being unworthy of your love, because the pain they survived convinced them something inside them was broken. There are memories they rarely speak about, moments they replay privately, mistakes they still punish themselves for long after everyone else moved on. They carry guilt, regret, shame, And no matter how much healing they have done, part of them still wonders if someone as genuine as you could ever fully accept the deepest version of who they are. That fear has kept them awake more nights than you realize. Because your soulmate does not want temporary affection from you. They want permanence, truth, a connection that survives darkness instead of collapsing beneath it. And the terrifying part is, they already know they would give you their entire heart if you allowed them to. Which means rejection would devastate them in ways they are almost afraid to risk. So they hesitate, watch, wait, overthink. But the feelings continue growing anyway. Stronger, deeper, more impossible to control. And now, something extraordinary is beginning to happen. Your soulmate has started imagining confessing their feelings to you. Not casually, not hypothetically. Seriously, they rehearse conversations in their mind. Imagine your reaction. Imagine your eyes meeting theirs. Imagine the terrifying relief of finally saying everything they have hidden. Then fear interrupts again. But every time fear returns, love returns stronger. And child, the reason heaven keeps bringing you back to this message tonight is because events have already begun moving behind the scenes. Conversations, encounters, unexpected timing shifts, invisible alignments. Things that seem random are actually pulling your paths closer together right now. Even moments that feel like delays are secretly positioning both of you exactly where you need to be. Your soulmate does not realize how close they are to crossing into your life fully, but their spirit feels it. That is why they have been restless lately, why sleep feels different, why emotions surface unexpectedly, why memories and dreams feel unusually vivid. Their soul is preparing for impact, and yours is too. But listen carefully now, because this next revelation matters deeply. When your soulmate finally comes toward you, they will not arrive perfect. They will arrive healing. There is a difference. They will still carry fears, still have moments of insecurity, still struggle sometimes with believing they deserve this kind of love. But unlike others from your past, they will not run from emotional truth. They will fight for it, fight for you. Fight for the connection even when fear tells them to retreat. Because your soulmate has already realized something irreversible. Life without this connection no longer feels fulfilling. And once a soul realizes where home is, wandering becomes unbearable. Still, there is one final moment approaching that neither of you expects. A moment connected to a choice. A crossroads. Because before your soulmate fully steps into your life, someone from their past is going to reappear unexpectedly. Not because that old connection is meant to survive, but because destiny is forcing them to choose once and for all between familiar pain and transformative love. This moment will test everything. Old emotions will surface. Confusion will intensify. And for a brief period, it may appear as though your soulmate is pulling away instead of coming closer. Do not misunderstand this moment when it happens. It is not rejection. It is the final battle between their past self and the person they are becoming because of you. And child, when they finally make their choice, when they finally stop running from what their soul has known all along, the confession that leaves their lips will change both your lives forever. Because hidden inside them right now, buried beneath fear, hesitation, longing, and emotional chaos, there are words they have been dying to tell you. Words so powerful they could alter the course of your future the moment they are spoken aloud. And the terrifying truth is, they are much closer to saying them than you realize.